Hey guys, how you going? I've got a bit of a disturbing one today. I just came across this, okay. I wrote, it probably is beware the fake meat. Vegan burger said to taste like human meat wins award. Oh dear God, let's have a look. At the Cannes Lion Festival of Creativity. NYT Sweden, a Swedish-based company, has won an award for their imitation vegan human meat burgers. Yes, you read that correctly. The company called Oomph won the Silver Brand Experience and Activation Lion for its vegan-based burger that is said to have the texture of human flesh, according to India Times. Okay, who is the person that said that knows what the texture of human flesh is like? I'd like to know. The award was presented at the Cannes Lions Festival of Creativity last week. According to a press release, the burger is made out of soya, mushrooms and wheat protein with plant-based fats. The co-founding chef and head of innovation, Anken the Duck Linden, also mentioned a secret spice mix in a company Instagram post about the burger. I would be very concerned about this secret spice mix. What on earth is in it? The burger was presented at the plant-based food truck in NYT, I don't know how to say that, Stockholm last year in October as part of a Halloween promotion for the vegan-based company. A Halloween promotion. Okay, you know, it makes a lot of sense. A Halloween promotion with a secret spice mix. Yeah, I'm sure it's not humans at all. And I'm being very sarcastic. The original Instagram post had an ominous warning that read, "No humans were harmed in the making of this burger. If given the chance, would you give this burger a try?" No, thank you. No, just no, okay? So there's that. What... I want to know how they know what humans... That's what I thought. How did they know what humans taste like? Answer, some guy on Reddit cooked up his own ankle and served it in tacos to all his friends. They knew it was his ankle. He said it tastes sort of like pork, but very... oh, God. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit of trouble. There was something else, actually. I saw another comment in there. Cannibals will be the new vegan. What is wrong with people? First, how does anyone know what human meat tastes like and has a specific texture? Two, and I can't state this loud enough, who wants to eat a burger that tastes and has the texture of human meat? Like, what is the demographic here? Is this what vegans are into? I hope not. No, I know most vegans just like plants. But, oh, seriously? Anyway, in response to the post-millennial New York Times slam for article promoting cannibalism, I wrote, don't think they haven't already been slipping it into our food under an additive, a number, or some other obscure name, which I spelt some wrong. I always do that, hit the wrong button. Buy fresh food. I don't trust them or their processed food. Soylent Green. There's a drink called Soylent, and it comes in different colours. One of them was a green bottle. I wonder what's in there. Okay, let me read this. Actually, let's go to the New York Times article first and then read that and then go back to the other one. I wrote, I shared Politically Stripped, communism, pedophilia and cannibalism. What's going on with the writers at the New York Times? Sick stuff coming out of there. And then I wrote I shared different posts, I shared the New York Times post, and I wrote, that is enough to make any normal person sick. There are some really sick people. Okay, New York Times posted this. Cannibalism has a time and a place. Some recent books, films and shows suggest the time is now. Can you stomach it? No, thank you. At all. Even if I was starving. I was listening to Tim Pool, actually, and, oh my goodness. And, yeah, I think I agree with Tim Pool in I would eat dirt before I would eat humans. And, in fact, I wouldn't eat humans at all. I'd prefer to die of starvation, okay? Now, I'll read this whole article to you and you can tell me what you think. You think they're pushing it, or do you think they're just reporting on something that just happens to be very weird? And also while we're going through food shortages. Interesting, isn't it? This is by Alex Beggs, who I think is a very sick person. An image came to Chelsea G. Summers, who also I think is a very sick person. A boyfriend accidentally on purpose hit by a car, some quick work with a corkscrew and his liver served Tuscan style on toast. That figment of her twisted imagination is what prompted Miss Summers to write her novel A Certain Hunger, about a restaurant critic with a taste for male human flesh. Turns out cannibalism has a time and a place. In the pages of some recent stomach-churning books and on television and film screens, Miss Summers and others suggest that time is now. Look, honestly, I think anyone who writes about it and movies about it, I think it's disgusting, okay? I won't watch it. In fact, I was watching Tales from the Crypt, and one episode come on where a guy tricked them into eating human meat. And it made me physically sick. I started to gag, and I feel that way now. I'm trying not to. Okay, Miss Summers suggests the time is now. There is Yellow Jackets, a Showtime series about a high school women's soccer team stranded in the woods for a few months too many, which premiered in November. The film Fresh, released on Hulu in March, involves an underground human meat trade for the rich. Yeah, well, I wouldn't put that past them. And honestly, I don't know. I think people who write about these things and make these stories up, I don't know why I think they may have tried it themselves. Lapvona, Tessa Moshfegh's novel published in June, portrays cannibalism in a medieval village overcome by plague and drought. Agustina Bazterrica's book Tender is the Flesh, released in English in 2020 and in Spanish in 2017, imagines a future society that farms humans like cattle. Also out in 2017, Raw, a film by the director and screenwriter Julia Ducournau, I don't know how to say that, tells the story of a vegetarian veterinary student whose taste for meat escalates after consuming raw offal. Still to come is Bones and All, starring Timothy Chalamet. The movie about a young love that becomes a lust for human consumption is expected to be released later this year or early next. Its director, Luca I can't even say these names, has called the story extremely romantic. I think these people are sick. I really do. Oh my goodness, can you stomach it? A fascination with cannibalism, perhaps not surprisingly, can tell a fine line, as Miss Summers learnt while writing A Certain Hunger. When fact-checkers came calling about the frenzied scenes in which the book's anti-heroine prepares her murdered lovers with grotesque Epicurean flourish, their queries about the intricacies of human butchery left Miss Summers so disturbed she went full raw vegan for 2 weeks. The creator was horrified by her own monster. I very much doubt that. I have a feeling that to write about things like this, you have to know certain things, like texture, taste. I'm very suspect on this. Publishers may have been too. When Miss Summers, who used a pseudonym, was shopping the book around in 2018, it was rejected more than 20 times before Audible and the unnamed press made an offer. Oh, great. Good on you, Audible, the unnamed press. Jeez. I don't think we need books like this. I really don't. To me, it's like a fetish, okay? There's something wrong with people who want to do this type of thing. If she was selling A Certain Hunger today, Miss Summers, who is 59, lives in New York and Stockholm, believes it would be easier. God bless Yellow Jackets, she said in a Zoom interview, which was later interrupted by her dog, Bob, vomiting in the background. She was probably serving him human meat too. I'm making fun. I can't even, you know. Released in December 2020, her book started to experience a boom in popularity on social media. The actress Anya Taylor-Joy posted about it on Instagram, and it received many plaudits in the corner of TikTok known as BookTok. About a year later, around the time that Yellow Jackets debuted on Showtime. The pilot episode of Yellow Jackets shows a teenage girl getting trapped, bled out like a deer, and served on a platter in a terrifying ritual. Bloodthirsty fans continue to dissect the scene on Reddit, where a subreddit message board dedicated to the series has more than 51,000 members. I could not even... Like, I'm a fan of horror movies, but no. I couldn't even watch that. The show's tension is in the knowledge that you know cannibalism is coming, but when and why. The creators of Yellow Jackets, Ashley Lai and Bart Nickerson, who live in Los Angeles, said they want the plot to hint that human consumption wasn't merely for the characters' survival. This not only adds a spine-tingling creepiness to the already dark story about the soccer team stranded in the wilderness, but also separates it from the real-life tale of the Uruguayan rugby team trapped in the Andes in 1972, whose members resorted to cannibalism to survive. That event was later dramatised in the 1993 movie Alive, starring Ethan Hawke. I remember that. I felt sick watching that as well. I think they're often drawn to things... I think we're often drawn to the things that repulse us the most, Ms. Lyle, 42, said. No, not necessarily. No. Mr. Nickerson, 43, chimed in, but I keep coming back to this idea of what portion of our revulsion to these things is a fear of the ecstasy of them. Okay, there is definitely something wrong with your heads, mate. Lepvana by Ms. Mosh Fay is, I don't know how else to say it, is also not overly cannibalistic. Unlike A Certain Hunger, there's no braising with bouquet garni, but once... I don't know how to say that either. But one scene involving a toenail is harrowing. Unknown for her unsettling, delving into the darkness stories, including Eileen and My Year of Rest and Relaxation, Ms. Moch Fay, 41, who lives in Los Angeles, wrote Lapvana during the spring of 2020. In the early days of the pandemic, I wrote it in such complete isolation that I felt this incredible freedom to go wherever I was being led, she said. Yes, I'm sure she did. I think there's something wrong with her head. The character who eats another human, the greatest sin in his religiously vegetarian village, does so in an act of depraved desperation, says Miss Moshfei, a vegetarian herself. Why does it all seem to be vegetarians that are writing these things? That's very interesting. Tales as old as time. Bill Schutt, the author of Cannibalism, A Perfectly Natural History, says that fictional plots about eating human flesh are as old as literature itself. Pointing to an example that includes the man-eating Cyclops in Homer's Odysee, Dr. Schutt, who holds a PhD in zoology from Cornell University and is a research associate at the American Museum of Natural History, said the taboo has artistically been used to horrify for centuries. Yeah, a man eating Cyclops is not like another person eating another person, is it? I don't know. I don't know what a Cyclops is, other than I think it's a thing with like either one eye or three eyes. I don't know. When you take something that is so horrible and put it through the lens of fictionalisation, he said, we get charged up about it. But we know we're safe. At least most of the time. Dr. Schutt only made it halfway through Hulu's Fresh before he had to stop the movie. It's almost too well done, he said. I think Dr. Schutt knows more than he should. In Fresh, a woman becomes charmed by a man she meets in a grocery store, whom she later discovered is involved in an underground human flesh trade. Anyway, we'll keep going from this doctor, whatever his name is. But as his book documents, cannibalism has occurred around the world throughout history, lending these fictional tales a queasy whiff of what if. Yeah, well, the elites have been around for decades too, and throughout history, so maybe they're the ones doing it. Historical examples in the book include mummia, a practice of using ground-up mummified bones to soothe various ailments that was popular in 17th century Western Europe. No thank you. The infamous Donner Party pioneers who became trapped in the Sierra Nevada in 1846. Ritualistic cannibalism that took place in Papua New Guinea until the 1950s. And famine-induced cannibalism in China in the 1960s. Oh dear God. And they did, and Papua New Guineans were very sick from it as well. It's prion disease. It's kuru. Dr. Schutz's book also features the story of the so-called cannibal cop, a former New York Police Department officer who was arrested in 2013 for participating in fetish forums that fantasized about cannibalizing women and later acquitted. The New York Post has published more than 30 articles about this case, including one suggesting the Halloween costume of a policeman's uniform with a severed hand on the plate. Flavours of that saga can be found in more recent accusations of sexual and physical abuse against the actor Armie Hammer, which have included that he allegedly sent cannibalistic messages to a romantic partner. Mr. Hammer has denied the accusations and, through his lawyers, declined to comment for this article. After the allegations became public, he was dropped by his agency, checked into rehab, and is now, Variety reports, selling timeshares in the Cayman Islands. Coincidentally, Mr. Hammer worked with Mr. Chalamet and Mr. Guadagnino, I can't say it, on Call Me By Your Name. The unthinkable. As to what may be fueling the desire for cannibalism stories today, Ms. Lyle, the Yellow Jackets co-creator, said, "I think that we're obviously in a very strange moment." She listed the pandemic, climate change, school shootings, and years of political cacophony as possible factors. "I feel like the unthinkable has become the thinkable," Miss Lyle said, and cannibalism is very much squarely in that category of the unthinkable. Well, I think Miss Lyle needs help. According to Ms. Summers, cannibalism is always symbolic. For her novel's protagonist, eating human flesh can be seen as a way of holding on to a relationship that ended. What? I think these people are insane. For Ms. Summers herself, the plot of A Certain Hunger can't be uncoupled from my own personal experiences with disordered eating, with the tamping down of feminine appetites, the way media chews up and spits out writers. I don't even know how to say that. Bougie consumption and bougie lady consumption, she said. What? From her own personal experiences, it can't be uncoupled from her own personal experiences with disordered eating. What disordered eating? Has she been eating humans? With the tamping down of feminine appetites. What the hell? Is she saying feminine appetites for human flesh? The way the media chews up and spits out writers. What? Seriously? I think there's something wrong with this person. Anyway, more generally, Ms. Summers thinks the recent spate of cannibalistic plots could also be commentaries on capitalism. What the hell? Capitalism is what is enabling her to write and make money. What the hell? Got nothing to do with capitalism. Cannibalism is about consumption, and it's about burning up from the inside in order to exist, she said. Burnout is essentially over-consuming yourself, your own energy, your own will to survive, your sleep schedule, your eating schedule, your body. I think she's eaten too many people. She's not making much sense to me. We're not living in capitalism at the moment anyway. We're living in like an oligarchy. But anyway, let's not worry about that. Let's not worry about the little details. Hey. Oh dear, actually we're heading straight to communism, so... And that's where you're going to burn up from inside out in order to exist, and burn out over consuming yourself and your own energy and your own will to survive. That's what communism does, love. I'm finding this really strange, and this is the New York Times article. I'm going to call her Miss Mosh, said her theory was it might be an antidote to the actual horror of what's happening to the planet. Like Miss Summers, Miss Mosh at times couldn't stomach her own work. I'm sure she could. Describing the process of writing about cannibalism in Lapvona as a bit disturbing. A bit? I wouldn't even write about it. How's that? Oh my goodness. I think there's something wrong with these people. She had to think about what part of the body would be an interesting place to start, she said, and how it would feel to hold someone's severed hand in yours. What in the hell? The prop team on Yellow Jackets had a similarly unnerving task. I can't even read. This is just like blowing me away. It's disgusting. Yellow Jackets had a similar, unnerving task in determining what to use as faux human flesh in the show's pilot episode. Oh dear God. Should it be the lab-grown human steak made from stem cells that spurred outrage at a London museum? The animal-free chicken, beef, salmon and dairy substitutes that some companies are creating using similar technology? Ultimately, the prop team went with venison. But they'll have to find an alternative for future episodes, Miss Lyle and Mr. Nickerson said, because many in its cast are vegan. Oh dear God. And comments. Oh my God. This bloke called Arthur, I think he needs help too. What other animals do it, we should not be surprised, just saying. On the other hand, didn't the indigenous people of Papua New Guinea have a range of major health issues owing to prions, etc.? I don't know many other animals that are cannibals. I don't know, maybe they are, but anyway. ABC said everyone in the squadron of US President George H.W. Bush, except Bush and one other, was eaten as trophies alive, while Japanese Bush parachuted into the sea. He lived 19 years in China. Japanese cannibalism was widespread throughout East Asia and increased as food was scarce, and Japanese ate prisoners of war and civilians when the war dragged on. UK intentionally committed genocide on Ireland in the 1850s during the famine, and Brits happily exterminated 1/4 of the Irish and caused all young Irish to leave, i.e. because their Catholic religion, Irish did not practice cannibalism. Oh dear God. I'm sorry, I just can't stomach the concept of cannibalism. I'm way more civilised. I much prefer hearing the muffled screams of roots and vegetables as I prepare them. Oh my God. I can't even. I really just... bleh. Okay, anyway. Let's read... which one is it? Sorry, guys. The Post-Millennial. The New York Times slammed for article promoting cannibalism. Okay, here we go. Okay, New York Times published an article Saturday that said, turns out cannibalism has a time and a place, which sparked criticism on Twitter, ranging from the piece being dubbed satanic to a cult and even an electoral strategy. The New York Times piece, titled A Taste for Cannibalism, posted in its style section on Saturday, centered around the author Chelsea G. Summers, who recently wrote a book called A Certain Hunger, which is about a restaurant critic who murders men and then eats them. There's Amy Tarkanian. This is satanic and morbid. Former Nevada GOP chairwoman Amy Tarkanian wrote, this is satanic and morbid, while journalist Ian Miles Chung said, stop normalising cannibalism. Jack Posobiec commented, more occult schlit, in a sentiment echoed by columnist Amrita Binder, who said, if the evil had a design, it would be in New York Times, occult shit. Many noted that New York Times was transitioning away from encouraging humans to eat bugs, something they do almost annually, and moving towards promoting human meat as a dietary substitute. So we're gone from, okay, we're just skipping past the bugs completely now and going for the humans. Yep, they moved from eating bugs to fellow humans pretty fast. Yeah, we didn't even get a chance, mainly. Nearly. Not that I want a chance. I don't want a chance to eat bugs or humans. Believe me. The whole thing's just making me sick. Podcaster and former Assistant Secretary of the Treasury, Monica Crowley, wrote they moved from eating bugs to eating fellow humans pretty fast, And musician Zuby said, "I will not eat the bugs, and I certainly will not eat my neighbours." Hear, hear, mate, I agree. Independent journalist Joe M. Petlin, whose work focuses on Jewish rights, even suggested it was an electoral strategy and wrote, "So according to the New York Times, if you can't convince your neighbours to vote for your preferred candidates, you could always just win the election by eating them. In 2022, cannibalism isn't wrong, it's just the new electoral math. Electoral math, sorry." According to TMZ, the stir had even caused Soylent Green to trend. In the 1973 movie, cannibalism is rampant in New York City because the company Soylent disguised human meat as harmless food supplement. And let me show you something. A Soylent review updated in 2022. Don't buy before you read this. Soylent is a meal replacement shake intended to provide a full meal that is made to support a healthy lifestyle. Each bottle of the ready-to-drink Soylent has 20% of one's daily nutritional needs, and they offer it in original cacao and nectar flavour. The company offers the total nutrient profile and adds that there are 25 micronutrients and a proper amount of daily serving of calories, fats, sodium and fibre. They even say that it is lactose, nut and animal free. I'm sure it is, because it's human. After breaking down several meal replacement shakes, our review experts noted which the best was. 18 Shake was hands down the best meal replacement due to its rich protein and ability to suppress appetite for hours. Many users were able to lose weight, and glowing testimonies. The best way to lose weight, seriously, is exercise. I did see one that was green not long ago, ready to drink food. Yuck, yuck, and more yuck. Soy protein isolate, and often GMO-produced soy extract, which has a minimum of 90% protein by weight. This is easy to digest and is touted as an amino acid-rich protein source. Some studies have shown it can help reduce cholesterol and improve health. I doubt it being a GMO. Livestrong.com has reviewed soy and found that it can provide estrogen according to a study. Yes, it does. Blood estrogen levels slightly higher than men consuming milk protein. Yes, that's what grows boobs on men. This may not be wanted in some, as hormone changes can be potentially harmful. The makers of Soylent also say their product is not GMO free, so their added soy is likely from a GMO source too. Maltodextrin, we used to call it, an artificial sugar and common food additives which is used to give food a mild taste, is often taken from sources such as corn and what? I think they meant wheat. High oleic sunflower, oleic, I don't know how to say that, taken from the sunflower plant. This is rich in monosaturated fats, is stable without the need for hydrogenation, and is often added to processed foods. Isomaltose, a glucose sugar which is often used in processed foods. I like how they don't tell you. See, this is what I'm worried about. What if they're slipping these things in under other names? We don't really... glucose sugar, which is often used in processed, doesn't tell you what it comes from. I can't even say that one. Easy to digest carbohydrate, which is known to be digestive resistant. This means it can potentially support the growth of healthy gut bacteria. This is also sued as a sweetener. Yeah, I bet it is. It's used as a sweetener. Okay, if it's known to be digestive resistant, there's normally a reason why things are digestive resistant. And they say potentially it could support the growth of healthy gut bacteria. It could also hurt your gut. If it's digestive resistant, there's a reason. Artificial flavours. This additive is often added to processed foods as a way to provide a stable flavour to foods which does not degrade. It can be taken from many different sources and is manipulated to be made sustainable. Gel and gum, commonly used thickener that is used to help emulsify and stabilise surrounding ingredients. See, they don't really tell you what is in there. What I wanted to get was reviews. Here we go. This had no taste, and I felt like it only had an aftertaste. That was one of the reviews. Another one was, loved it initially, but after a time I started having bad headaches from it. After I stopped, the headaches went away. I wonder why. It's probably prions. I swear the aftertaste is like eating a candle. It's so bad. Now, this person liked it because it was filling, but it left me with a phlegm taste and feeling in the throat. People were often disappointed and felt that the Soylent diet was difficult to sustain over time. The main issues were that of flavouring and aftertaste. Consistency. Users said that it either had a strong artificial taste or that for some reason it would leave an aftertaste which was much different than the original flavour profile. I wonder why. Users often added that initially the Soylent taste was not pleasant. If you type in Soylent Amazon, there's a total of 1,864 reviews currently for their ready-to-drink bottles, and 534 had very negative experiences. It's unknown why, but some also had side effects after they started using it over time, and which stopped as soon as they ceased to drink it anymore. Hello, Kuru. Hello, Prion. Soylent is described as the ultimate source of nutrition, and while it does have many important nutrients, it may not be what people are looking for if weight loss is the goal. The calories are simply much too high, and not all the ingredients are the most wholesome. I bet they're not. It also has a high amount of sugar, and worse yet, many said they found this to be impossible to drink. Many added the taste made it difficult to swallow. They could not see themselves sustained off this drink. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I was doing. I actually went for a bit of a look, didn't I? Okay. Let's have a look at images, because this is where I think I saw the green one. There you go. I don't know if you can see. Mint chocolate, Soylent Green, okay? Do you see what I see? You can see what I can see. I know you can. Okay, so there's lots of Soylent Green, Soylent Green, Soylent Green, Soylent Green. I wonder why people have difficulty. Soylent Green milk, mint chocolate, sorry, not milk. It's got no milk in it, it's mint. Okay, so let's go back to the web. Oh, Soylent. Okay, let's see what they say about themselves. Plant-based protein shakes. Yeah, I doubt that. Well, vegans, your time has come. I believe you're going into weird territory if you try and start eating this stuff. Soylent meal replacement Wikipedia. Let's see what Wikipedia says about it, eh? It's a privately held company in meal replacements. Founder is Rob Reinhart in Los Angeles, California. Damir Vangelov is the CEO. Soylent, produced by Soylent Nutrition Inc., is an American company that produces meal replacement products in powder, shake and bar forms. The company was founded in 2013 and headquartered in Los Angeles, California. Originally sold exclusively online in the United States, Soylent has expanded distribution to stores such as CVS Pharmacy, 7-Eleven, Walgreens, Kroger, Target and Walmart, and is available in Canada. Soylent is named after a food in Make Room, a dystopian science fiction novel which was the basis of the movie Soylent Green. I mean, how obvious can it be then? That explores themes of population growth and limited resources. Founder Rob Reinhart promoted the product as part of a global food security and providing a cheap means to consume necessary calories. The company developed a following initially in Silicon Valley, of course. Yes, Silicon Valley, of course. People like Zuckerberg and that, they love humans. And received early financial backing from GV, the investment arm of Alphabet Inc., a venture capital firm, Andreessen Horowitz. In 2021, the company announced it had become profitable starting in 2020. Oh dear God, help us. Okay, in January 2013, American software engineer Rob Reinhart purchased 35 chemical ingredients including potassium glutamate, calcium carbonate, monosodium phosphate, maltodextrin, olive oil, all of which he deemed to be necessary for survival based on his reading of biochemistry textbooks and US government websites. Reinhardt used to view food as time-consuming hassle and had resolved to treat it as an engineering problem. Oh, here we go. This is what happens when you blend it with an engineering, like if you try and look at it as an engineering problem. Here we go. He blended the ingredients of water and consumed only this drink for the next 30 days. Over the course, don't try this at home, whatever you do. Over the course of the next 2 months, he adjusted the portions of the ingredients to counter various health issues. Of course he did, because he found health issues, and further refined the formula. Reinhardt claimed a host of health benefits from the drink and noted it had greatly reduced his monthly food bill, which fell from about $470 to $155, and the time spent behind preparation and consumption of food while providing him greater control over his nutrition. The greatest control you can have over your own nutrition is to cook the food yourself. Reinhardt's blog post about his experiment attracted attention on Hacker News, eventually leading to a crowdfunding campaign on Tilt that raised about $1.5 million in pre-orders. Of course it did, and guess who was pre-ordering it? The people that already do it. Aimed at moving the powdered drink from concept into production. Media reports detailed how operations began for Soylent Nutrition Inc. in April 2014, using a relatively small $500 system to ship the first $2.6 million worth of product. Okay. In January 2000, I don't know how he got like $2.6 million worth of product shipped for $500. That's very interesting, I think. In January 2015, Soylent received a $20 million in series around funding led by venture capital Andreessen Horowitz. Soylent is named after a food in Harry Harrison's 1966 science fiction movie Make Room, Make Room. Why would they name it after that when they know they know what that was? Unless it is. Do you understand what I mean? In the novel, most types of Soylent are made from soy and lentils, hence the name of the product. A combination of soy and lent. The word also evokes the 1973 film adaptation Soylent Green, in which the eponymous food is made from human remains. Reinhardt also said he chose the name with its morbid associations to pique curiosity and deeper investigation, since the name was clearly not chosen with a traditionally flashy marketing scheme in mind. I believe he's kind of telling the truth here, but I believe that's what's in it. Soylent was only available for purchase and shipment within the United States until 2015, when the shipping to Canada began. In October 2017, Canada disallowed further shipments of Soylent due to failure to meet Canadian food regulations on meal replacements. Shipments to Canada resumed in 2020. In July 2017, Soylent was sold offline for the first time at 7-Eleven stores in and around Los Angeles. By April 2018, Soylent was sold in over 8,000 US 7-Elevens and was available at Walmart, Target, Kroger and Meijer? I don't know. Health effects. The makers of Soylent claim it contains the nutrients necessary for a healthy lifestyle. That's not what we've heard. Some people have experienced gastrointestinal problems from consumption of Soylent, particularly flatulence. Lead and cadmium content. On August the 13th, As You Sow filed the notice of intent to pursue a lawsuit against the makers of Soylent, claiming that Soylent was in breach of California's Proposition 65 for not adequately labelling its product given the levels of lead and cadmium present in the drink. Although Soylent contains levels of lead and cadmium far below the national safety levels set by the FDA, it does contain 12 to 25 times the level of lead and 4 times the level of cadmium permitted in California without additional labelling. A lawyer who has worked on settlements of Proposition 65 suits describes the case as alarmist, as the levels are well below FDA limits of what's allowed in food products. However, as Soylent is marketed as a complete meal replacement, many customers consume the drink 3 times a day, equating to 36 for 75 times the lead and 12 times the level of cadmium without the Prop 65 label. Let's go, hang on. Okay, let's go to product recalls. In 2016, the company announced it would halt sales of the Soylent bar due to reports of gastrointestinal illness, including nausea, vomiting and diarrhea. I wonder why. I wonder if that's part of Prion. The company asked customers to discard any unconsumed bars and said it would offer full refunds. On October 21, the company triggered a product recall. October 27th, the company also halted sales of Soylent powder. The company said tests on the bar had not shown contamination, but also said some powder users had reported stomach-related symptoms from consuming the powder. That's because it's a massive con. The guy who made it said, oh, it's got great health benefits, and that's how he sold it. The company initially suspected soy or sucralose intolerance. However, on November the 7th, 2016, Soylent instead blamed algal flour for making people sick and said it planned to remove algal flour from future formulation of the powders and bars, which it did in the next formulation version 1.7 introduced in December 2016. The drink-based products use algal oil, not algal. I don't know how to say it. So we're deemed to be safe for users. Algal. I don't know. Soylent's gone through multiple iterations since its release, which have significantly changed the flavour, texture and nutritional ingredients. Reinhardt called the flavour of the original versions minimal, broad and non-specific. Soylent 1.0 contains soy lecithin and sucralose as masking flavours and to adjust appearance, texture and smell. Yeah, I bet. Before version 1.4, vanillin was included as an ingredient for flavouring. Dylan Matthews of the Washington Post noted in 2013 that Soylent fulfills a similar need as medical foods like Abbott Laboratories, Gevity, but at a much lower cost. Of course the Washington Post would say that, Dylan Matthews of the Washington Post. See, with help of the media, they promote this stuff. Reviews on the taste of powdered Soylent vary. Writing for The Verge, Chris Ziegler said he was pleasantly surprised with a rich, creamy and strangely satisfying flavour, and a reviewer for Business Insider likened it to a vanilla milkshake with a texture of pancake batter, while a writer for The Guardian wrote it was purposefully bland, vile, and that made the taster gag. Farhad Manju of the New York Times said he found Soylent to be punishingly boring, joyless product. Chris Ziegler of The Verge, who experimented with substituting only on Soylent for almost a month, said although he liked and never really tired of the flavour, he concluded that Soylent isn't living, it's merely surviving, and described the apple he ate at the end of the period as my first meal back from the abyss, as the best he ever had in his life. A writer for Gawker said he was having trouble getting it down and eventually dumped the whole thing in the sink. Both Manju and Ziegler said they had experienced some gastrointestinal problems from drinking it. Lee Hutchinson of ARS Technica also reported a brief period of adaptation gas at the beginning of a 4-day experiment. The maca-flavoured version has been described similar to a caffeinated Nesquik drink. Oh dear God. Oh, they probably put it in Nesquik too. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. This is all going to be about this strange thing that's come up all of a sudden. And I want you to let me know what you think about this down below. What do you think? Because I won't go near any of it. I'd rather die. Thank you very much. But it looks like they're trying to promote it. Even the New York Times, it does look like they were promoting the books and the movies and, you know, and Time Is Now and all that rubbish. Okay, guys, this one actually made me feel a bit ill. I think I'm going to go and lie down. Okay, hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.